welcome back to Adobe Live and Animation 201. I was training hard for that, by the way. It's wonderful to see you, Wade, Clever Devlin, Oliver, Voodoo Val. Thank you so much for coming on through. I have something interesting for you today, other than a new intro. I hope you like it. It took me a little while to animate that all frame by frame, but that's the fun and joy of it, right? So we've been doing a lot of different things in Adobe Animate, originally Adobe After Effects, where we've learned some 12 principles of animation, but After Effects based. But now we're taking it to one of the OG ways, doing it frame by frame, but still learning the 12 principles as we go. So in this one, we're actually going to be looking at anticipation and smears. But before we do, let me check up on the YouTube chat as well here. Hello, Jaden. Hello, Moni. And Rogerio, welcome from London. So, as I did mention, we're doing anticipation and smears today. But that means we've got a couple of whats, as you know, to get down. So, first, what is anticipation? Well, anticipation indicates to the audience something's going to happen. So let's take a look at a hammer, for example. After we show what anticipation can do, it's useful to displaying energy, weight, and it can be used for unexpected results. So, AKA our hammer. Without anticipation, you can't tell when the hammer's going to go down and there's not enough force. But with anticipation, there's enough force for the hammer to drive the nail down and you can tell when it's going to happen. Makes a lot of sense. We do this when we jump. But unexpected means you can do an anticipation to make people think something's going to happen, but then change it at the last minute, which in our case means that there's not enough energy to pop that nail into the wood. Rob said, I'm crazy with anticipation. Oh, really? Trying to lurk osmosis. Happy lurking. You've been framed. Reverb, Mike, please. But anticipation is best used with smears because normally there's a fast action happening. So, what is a smear? A smear is a warped image or frame that conveys fast movement. So we'd have one frame, a second frame, and between it would be our smear. So let's go back to the hammer analogy. If our first frame is the hammer here, and our second frame is the hammer down there, the frame in the middle of them both would be the smear. Now the smear is sort of halfway between both of them, kind of stretched out. I think you get my drift of being a proper smear. So let's put this all together with an anticipation, a smear in the middle, and then the end pose. Now it really looks like the hammer's going really fast. Really fast. It gives us such of an illusion of strength as well when we do this. So it's very, very handy to do. Reverb Mike said, when you're a hammer, everything's a nail. You're down with the schmear. Wonderful. And welcome, Spontaneous. It's also a sample. Being applied to a slide for a microscope. Ooh, that's an interesting one, Spawn. But you might ask, okay, we know our whats, we know what anticipation is, we know what a smear is. What are we actually going to be doing today? We only have one mini game because it takes us a little while to draw stuff. This mini game is objection. That's right. Ace Attorney, eat your heart out. But even though it's only one mini game, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. We're going to take our time. We're going to look at some of the examples we've used beforehand while learning the new ones we've just heard about. Now, in the bottom left, you might have noticed that there's some names in the bottom. That's right. We've got Penny Doodles and Easy for President's works from our last lesson on Animation 201, where we were actually looking at doing some ball examples or slime hitting a wall and a few other ones. Now, don't forget, if you do want to have your animation on Animation 201, DM me wherever you can find me, be it Behance, which is in the description. What is also in the description is the lesson files for today. You don't actually need any lesson files for this one. But if you would like to use the sound effect that I've got and the background image, take a look at the description and grab a hold of that lesson file. Oh, Graces, welcome. I'm very glad. I've got my Voodoo Val happy counter for the day. Right, so before we get into it, do you not like my new intro? Do you like this as well? I hope so. I think there's one thing that I forgot to change, but we gotta razzmatazz it up. I feel like this is a really, really cozy effect. By the way, this is me allowing you time to download the file so you can upload the file. Let's take a little sip of the drink. I'm watching you. Okay, good. I feel like we probably have the stuff by now. That means our one and only minigame. Number 1, objection. So we have got a gavel, and it's down to us to make the gavel hit the thing. The podium, the pedestal, the little circle thingy-mabobby. It was very adorable. The style was comforting. Oh, thank you, Jaden. My sister was telling me that it reminded her of when it was rainy on a school day. I don't know if this happened to anybody else in their secondary schools, but it was rainy on a school day. The teacher, for some reason, wouldn't teach you. They would like wheel in a TV and they would like play some cartoony educational show. She said it kind of reminded her of that, or like a Saturday morning thing, which is wonderful. This is very good because we need to learn and have fun. So in your file, I don't think you've got the example. You might actually, I can't quite remember. But what you do have is this line at the bottom. This layer says sound. So yes, if you are animating in Adobe Animate, you can actually add sound effects, which I really love to do. I like doing stuff on the points or on the marker. That's our timing. So if we press enter, we'll hear the sound effect. Now, when we start off, if we've only got the sound effect, the sound will let us know that by the time this sound happens, the hammer should be down. So this is a really useful way of us doing our key main poses. So let's get into that. You will have a already set timing due to the sound effect as well. So I'm just going to hide. She said hide. There we go. Let's make sure everything is gone. It was still semi there. There we go. It's all gone now. Thank you, Val. Lesson files down there. Saturday morning. Oh, yes. All right. Let's grab our stuff and get started. We're first going to make a reference file or a rough file for ourselves. You can just go straight in and draw the perfect one first, but by doing a rough first, it allows you to get the timing and the spacing and the anticipation and the correct first. That way you're not really wasting your time. So we're going to work smarter, not harder. It's a pixie face. It's a me! Pixie. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our new layer. I'm just going to call this rough. And what I found really, really helpful, especially like when I made the intro, I had thousands of layers. What was really, really helpful to let me know which one I was actually working on is turning on the focus dot. So if you go ahead and click that, even if you've got lots of other stuff, if you haven't put them in a group, that is, you can definitely tell which one you're working on because you've actually got a highlight line underneath it. Your day can't get any better. Spawn, you are too kind. All right, so we've got our rough. I am going to be that person that changes the color. Why not make it pinkish for now? And we've got our rough. Let's grab a color. It doesn't really matter what it is. Maybe something that will stand out to you. I'm going to go with a sort of, I don't know what color that is. Oh, it's purple. If you're drawing and you notice that you've got outlines rather than an actual solid drawing, it just means that the rectangle has been clicked. When you click it again, it stops it from being an outline. Pixie literally can brighten the best day ever. Oh, Val, you're too sweet. Val's too kind. It's like always, every time Val says something nice, it's like the height, like I need to frame it on my wall. Okay, I literally went through and erased that, didn't need to, but here we are. So we've got our tool to use your brush. It is B for brush. And we're gonna put a sort of image down for where we think we want our hammer to start. Remember, it doesn't need to look pretty. Just needs to give us an idea of what's happening. Not a hammer, it's a gavel. Doesn't even need to look like the proper thing either. Okay, so I'm going for something like this. It's kind of nice to be able to do it rough again, because then you don't have to worry too much about, oh, Have I got the corner right? Yeah. No, it's fine. Cool. So we've got our first one. As we can see, as we remember, this means that this is showing this image for the entire frame, but we want to cut it off. But what's the next frame we should do? We're going to focus on this again, by the way, bi-weekly. So this is 2 weeks after now. We'll be looking at pose to pose and frame by frame. Pose to pose. Oh, pose to pose and straight ahead. There we go. That's it. But right now we're actually going to be working pose to pose. So the first pose is yay way. The second pose is when the sound happens. So we're just going to do our extremes. So if this is here, we're going to do F7, or if you've got your timeline up, we can go and create ourselves a blank. So either F7 or the button down there. But as you're animating, you'll find that it's easier for you or faster for you to work by using the shortcuts. Animation takes a long time. So if you can use shortcuts to help you, it will definitely help speed up your workflow. Hi, Josie! Welcome in, lovely. Hello, Proxy. Hope you're ready for some more animation-tastic wonderfulness. If you're working and you can't actually see your previous image, it just means you don't have your onion skin on. So let's go ahead and turn that on. And now I know the hammer needs to be down. So I'm going to hold shift to sort of make a straight line. Remember, it doesn't really matter how your work is looking when it's in the rough. It is rough for a reason. And the front of the gavel will be around here. Maybe the line will be higher up. So yes, be as rough as you like, as long as the positioning is correct. You can sort it out later. Okay, so we've got this. If we press enter now, right. We've got a little bit of changing of the size, so maybe we can try to make our sketch a little bit bigger. Even though the rough doesn't need to be that perfect, if you sort of make it the right sizes, you won't need to have to tweak it later. How am I? Oh, Sylvie! Welcome, lovely. We are working on our own little objection animation. We're doing our very best judge impression with our little gavel. And if you do want to join in with the files that we've got, so we've got the sound effect and we've got this background image, it's in the description of the YouTube video, or I think Voodoo Val posted it earlier up in the chats. I'm really good, Proxy. It's just nice to be able to teach something new, you know? Let's press enter and take another look. Nice. Good. Okay. We got the 1, we got the 2. It's not really going to raise back up after that. So technically that's the end of it. Now, how do we do the next bit? Remember, we want to do anticipation. So before the gavel goes down, we have to bring it up. So let's do the next extreme. Let's put it onto, let's put it here. Doesn't really matter too much. You'll be going through and moving your timing of things later on. I'm just going to stick mine on frame 9. If you're not sure what frame you're on, take a tiny look above your indicator and you'll see it right there. Thank you, Val. So I am going to put on the auto insert frame for now. It is helpful. Just be sure when you have it on and when you don't have it on, because it will just make extra keyframes for you, which is great unless you're not aware that you've got it on. So I'm going to remove this. So now it's automatically making a blank keyframe for me. And I know I want the very height of this. Oh, you know what? Because we're on Adobe Animate, we don't really need to draw it from scratch. Why would we put more work into it when we don't have to? We're going to click F6 or just insert keyframe. That duplicates the frame before it. I'm going to grab my anchor, pull it all the way to the bottom, drag the hammer back, and I think I'm gonna pull it up a little bit too and move it into the corner. So because we're on Adobe Animate, we really don't have to draw everything one by one. We're not doing it on paper. We can use the transform tool. Don't be afraid of the transform tool. Right. So if we scrub between the two, let's see. We've got one. We've got the very high. Let's press play. Take a look. Okay, dun, dun, dun. Making sense? Looking good. Okay. What I might do is pull this down a little bit and I will explain to you why. Because I like to work in a small box. We've literally got like a sort of 800 by 800 pixel, but it does mean if it goes too far off the side, we aren't actually going to see all of the gavel. So be wary of the space that you are animating in, because if it's outside of this line, we can see it here, but in the animation, we'll only see this much. Okay, so once you've done your main poses, all you have to do after this is do the in-between. The in-between is the halfway of the first and the second keyframe. So for example, if my first keyframe is this one and my second keyframe is this one, I need to do a halfway motion between the two of these to explain how this got there. So let's do 1, 2. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to pop it here. I do want to make them 2 by 2 just so it stays where I want it to. Because by doing 2 frames or doing it on 2s instead, it will animate correctly. It will look right. And we won't really need to worry too much. So let me do on the 2s now, actually. So I'm just going to do F6 again, or an insert a keyframe. We know this is where the hit needs to happen. What I'm going to do, you don't necessarily have to do it this way. There are other ways. But when you remove frames, the other stuff will move too. It doesn't stay there. It kind of gets taken along with it. So for me to find out where I did this, I'm actually just going to leave a little notch here. This line doesn't actually do anything. I could do it in the music, I suppose, if I wanted to, but just be wary, it might restart the music. But you can leave yourself little notes or little tips, or if you wanted, if we knew that this was frame 17, we could make sure this is open, write down frame 17 so I can move it back there. But I'm just going to put a notch here because then I can see where it's supposed to be. So let's make this a 2. Make that a 2 as well. And we're going to hold Shift and F5 until we have 2 frames. So that's 2. And the next one's 2. And the next one, we can hold it a little bit longer. That's fine. For now. To pad this one back over to the other direction, we'll hit F5 again, or just insert frame. That's a little bit long. There we go. We've got the one, the next, and the next. But this one's supposed to be halfway between these two. So let's turn on our onion. Oh, Magrerio. Wow, is that easy? Absolutely. I think what we need to be wary of as learners, regardless of the field, be it creative or something else, or even if you're learning a new language or learning a new exercise or a new habit or routine, everything is easy after you spent many hours into it. So enjoy the journey. Eventually, you're going to get to a part in the journey where it won't really take that much effort because you'll have it down by a muscle memory. So just, if you can, maybe once a day, this is actually what I do. Once a day, I animate like something really small with the techniques or the ideas that I've just learned. And that way, when you do it again and you do it again, and maybe you're able to refine it, it makes it, your understanding becomes stronger. And it makes it easier for you to eyeball either when it should happen or if something's off, how to fix it. All right, so we've got this one. We just need to do halfway between these two. So let's move this over a little bit. Halfway seems to be about here. Let's take a look. Ah, not bad, huh? So we've got a little bit of 1, 2, 3. Boom. Cool. I want it to look a little bit smoother. So if I want it to look smoother, I want to add a frame in between these two. Now remember, all we have to do when we want to add more frames is add a frame halfway between this movement and this movement. So we're going to do it again. We're going to insert some frames, F5 twice, and then we're going to hit F6 or the insert keyframe. Going to put my onion skin back on, make sure it doesn't show me too much. No, it showed me the right amount. And I want on between these two now. So let me move my anchor down again, move it over a little bit, Give it a little bit more of a notch. And now we've got it going back a little bit further. I'm gonna hide the layer for the sound. That way you don't hear the gavel sound too much. Oh, yes we do. Ah, there we go. Let me turn this back a little bit. Nice. Oh, it still wants to make sound apparently. That's all right, it's having a day. So it's going up, but it looks a little bit jagged. That means that one of these don't quite play quite well. So all we have to do, get a little bit closer, see where the issue could be. And I think I'm just gonna move this over a little bit more. It needs to be up a little bit higher. Maybe over here, just a tad. And we can turn off the onion key and scrub back and forth. Ah, okay, we can see the issue. The problem is this one and this one, their lower half is actually on the same line. So it's only moving in the rotation, not in the height, which is kind of weird. So I'm gonna move this one up and back a little bit. I'm gonna move it a little bit more. Seems like it wants more help. Just a little bit. Let's take a look at that. Control 0 to recenter yourself. Much better. Yes. Okay. I dig it. I like it. Cool. But I want the hammer to kind of slow back the anticipation. Let's say, what do I have? Okay, this is sort of gavel-like. Let's say we've got this. And oh, actually, this is more similar, right? We've got this. When we raise it up, we want it to slow its up. How do we make it look like it's doing the ease in, ease out thing? So to do that frame by frame, all we do is the exact same thing. We make the image in front of it semi-close to it, but we move it close to the last one. So we'll explain this. We'll explain. Thank you, Val. We will explain. So I've got this one. I'm gonna extend this one a little bit. Let's say this isn't the very last frame. We're gonna move this over to, we're gonna hit F6. I'm gonna use the same image. Why not? Pull this down a little bit so I have a little bit more room. Make sure our onion key or our onion skin is on. And I'm just gonna move it back a little bit. We wanna try to make sure that this isn't exactly the same either. It's really, really small notches, but when we move back between them, let's turn off the onion skin. Let's turn off the transform. It's got a little bit of a little jitter there. Now, I do think I might need to move some of these. If you end up in a situation where you need to move multiple frames in one go, right next to your onion key is the edit multiple frames. So I've turned that on. This lets me see how many frames I want to see in one go. And I think I need to move these ones. So I'm just going to select them all together. I might just move all of them. There we go. And move them slightly farther away from the corner. There we go. Let's take another look. Oops, that's the background. Oh, you know what? I can fix that. There we go. Much better. We've got a tiny bit of a slow, but let's say we want that to slow even more. It's really nice because technically it's always the same thing that we're doing. We're just layering the foundations on the foundations on the foundations. So I want it to go back even further. I want it to do it again. But I want it to move slow between this one and this one. And there's already almost no movement. So let's see if we can. Let's extend this to 2 frames. Hit F6. Onion skin between the 2. Oh, we could make it smash an egg. Do we have time? Oh my gosh, that'd be really cool. Okay, we'll do that. We'll make sure we won't spend too much time on this rough then. Okay, so we've got our earlier one. Remember, this one's exactly the same as this one for now. We've duplicated the frame. And we need to do an in-between between these two. Let's turn our onion skin back on. All I have to do at the moment is nudge it a little bit. I'm just gonna take a look. Can't just nudge it from the side. Let's see if maybe... if it's too close and we don't have enough control over this, we might have to rotate it in another way. There we go. Okay. Woo! Ooh! Ooh! Okay. Love it. Let's take a look. Nice. Ooh, and I have extended. So while you're going and you're doing stuff on twos, you'll notice that your frames will get kind of pushed off the side. So to make sure that it loops where you want it to loop, just trim it down. You've got to be nice and neat and all that jazz. Okay. Let's take another look. We've got it going slowly back a little bit. We could probably make it go slowly back another bit more. We got another 2 frame. Let's do it one more. Another F6. Actually, you know what was really cool? In the last stream that we had last... in the last stream we had last week, Thursday, I asked people what the item that we were making jump should be. And someone said a star, and we did that. And then somebody said, oh, it should roll. And I was like, oh, okay. And it came out really cute. It was really, really cute. It was really cute. All right, so let's take a look. Aha! We got our ease out. We got a little woo. Cool. We've got our movement. It still looks kind of jagged in between. So if you've got jagged movement in between and you don't want it to be jagged like that, you know exactly what you have to do. Go between, do it on twos. You can change it later. We'll hit an F6 and you need to make this middle frame halfway between the first frame and the frame behind it. I just heard it in my head. In the criminal justice system, these are their stories. Wait, where's the sound? Dun, and then another one. It's not doing it. There we go. Dun, dun. The drama. The drama. Wait, what would be fun though is if it went in slow motion. No. Not. Oh, that's it. Oh my gosh. Spun. Okay, so first of all, you lot are creating a whole amazing thingy and I'm here for it. Right, we have to move it. Whoops. Tweak it a little bit. Make sure that it's yay way in between these two. And obviously, if you want it to do it a little bit slower, a little bit smoother, just keep adding frames. Or if you wanted, you could totally add a smear between the first two and a smear between the last ones. You've watched way too much? Oh, trust. I hear you. Season 13, here we are. Like, wow. Okay, so we've got this. We know the gavel sound is here. So we need it to hit, but before it hits... the reason why the background was a different color, by the way, when you have the onion skin on, if the other layers aren't locked, it will onion skin them too. So make sure that you've locked everything that you're not looking at. So now, I don't think I really care for that extra one that I added in. It could be fine if we put it on a 1. We'll try it on a 1. A court for sharks. Wait, hold on. Why does this sound like... What is that show? Do you remember that movie where he said, what is this? A school for ants. It's that. Okay, so we've got this. But between the top and the bottom, we need something in between. I know your eye kind of did it for you, but we need a little bit more. So we're going to add that smear. And when you do smears, smear is on 1 frame. It's on 1 frame. We don't linger it on 2 because everyone will see it then. So you want to do it on 1 frame. That's where your weird drawing goes. So I'm going to do a blank keyframe. That's F7 for me. Make sure I can see where both of them are because I need it to be halfway between both of those. I think I remember watching that movie, you know. And I'm just going to messily halfway between this and this one. This is why it's really, really handy to have the onion skin on. Just gonna... Oh, also, be very wary of trying to do really, really long lines. If you do, and Adobe Animate chooses to autosave, it will erase what you were just doing. So, unless you think you can do it really quick, because I'm never ready. I'm never ready for when it happens. Just be wary. It will catch you out a few times. It's fine. It's part of the fun. All right, so we've got our smear, which looks like this. It's very, very bizarre, but it'll be fine. Let's take a look. Let's fill this out a little bit. So when it loops correctly. And now we have, oh, I haven't filled this in, have I? Look at me filling this in when the rest of it ain't filled in. Okay. So the only reason why I'm taking out the fill is because it doesn't really match the others, because the others aren't filled in. So it doesn't make sense. So hold on. Hold on. There we go. There. Now it's fine. It's empty. There. Okay. There we go. Now we go. Hi, Silver. You're always working. Thank you so much for popping in. It's always wonderful to seeing you lot, especially whenever you hop in wherever you do. Wait, you know what? Guy, I know what you mean now. Somebody pointed out the logo to me the other day. Now we've got anticipation and we've got the hits. Great. Now, what I was talking about changing the speed, the only problem is that we've actually got a sound effect. So that means this has to happen at a certain time. If I wanted, I could remove this one, make this one a 1. Whenever things are on 1s, they move faster. So fast stuff should happen on 1s. And if I extend this last keyframe, then we still got the same timing. There we go. Whoop-pow! Got a little bit of movement, a little bit of a nice ease, and all the jazz. Yeah, Silver, I'm having a good day today. Thank you. All right, we did it. Hurrah! But let's say we want to make it full now. We've done the rough. We're really happy with it. What we do, go ahead and double click on the little notepad looking thing, go to opacity, change it to 30 or maybe 40, whatever floats your boat, and then click lock, because you very well might accidentally touch the layer that you don't want to touch right now. We're going to turn off the little focus button as well and call this hammer outline. Now, in the example that I have, I actually have 2 different layers. One layer is, do I have the thingy on? No, I don't. Oh, it's my rough. Okay, that's what it is. One layer has my outline and the other layer has the colors on the inside. Now, the reason why we'd split it like this is because if you're going into After Effects afterwards, or you want to add like a grainy effect, or you want to add a certain texture on it, which could be really, 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 really painstaking if you want to do it hand by hand in Adobe Animate or any traditional style. By doing this, you'll be able to stick it in After Effects and have it be a layer that you can compose something on top of. Really, really handy. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We could do the outline first, or we could do the color first. I think I might just do the color first. So make sure you make a new layer. Grab whatever color you want or click the color wheel. We'll go for a brownie, a ready brownie. Not the megalodon. Oh, you'd have no idea. But sharks and sheep are my favorite. They're my favorite animals. They're completely on differing scales, but I adore them. Okay, so technically this is for the outline. This is for the inner line. You know what? We might do the outline first. I'm not sure what I prefer right now. Okay, let's pretend like we're going to do this first. If we change our mind, we'll find out. Wait, can the gavel split a rap verse like an MC hammer? Spawn, get out. Spawn. The door. Talking to me about some MC. This is turning into a character. I know, right? Where has this come from? Do you remember the last one we had? We had the ghost and she was really sassy. Okay, let me just have some writing in here, and then it like hammers down, and then we hear hammer time, and then the video is DMCA'd. MCA. Oh, hi, Uma. Wait, is a lemon shark a real thing? Do you mean a nurse shark? Okay, now while you're doing your outline, you'll notice on the right-hand side, you've got your properties. You can totally turn on your pressure if you're using a pen tablet. And if you do have it on, it will actually ask, okay, what's the minimum size you want this to be able to do? I don't normally use it because I'm not sure about the size, like the pressure that I'm pushing down. 60, that's too much. Hold on, let me do 4. Band, thank you. Are you lying to me, Spawn? Sheep sharks. So Uma, just so you're caught up, we're talking about Law and Order. We're Ace Attorney. This is like our first day as a judge, and we don't have a gavel. So we're in here trying to make a stand with our gavel. It's gonna be a standard gavel because I'm a character designer that only does faces. Like, I guess if I stick an eye on this, then maybe I'll be prepared, but you know. Wait, is it true? Guy, is it true? Okay, so I've got this shape here. I'm sure your drawings will be lovelier. Apparently I've never drawn a gavel in my life other than the example. Now, if you end up in a spot where you're like, cool, this is a really awkward angle, just rotate your canvas a little bit like Photoshop, make it easy on yourself. You don't need to be doing any like twister, no yoga poses. We just need to make it as easy as possible for our hand to do what the hand needs to do. Cool. I think that's not the bit I want to do first. If you do want it to go back to its standard position, all you have to do is double tap the rotation instead. You may be making that up. Spawn, please. You know I'm gullible. Why? Why? No, but I've seen that game before. I have. Have you played it? What do you think? Imagine if we made like an animation for Arc though. Okay, so we've got it. Oh, even Control 0 actually does it for you. Great. Now, normally in animation, you have a rough, a first pass, a second pass, and then like pass. And then the cleanup stage. We're not really gonna clean this up too specifically here, because that's where the long time is taken. We don't have time. Look at me saying we don't have time, and I'm still here like trying to fix this one piece. Pixie, let it go. Let it go. Oh, she's still doing it. Okay. Oh, you want to tidy it up? All right. Okay, we're done. We're walking away. Katrina, welcome, lovely. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you do want to join along, you've got the downloadable files. You don't have to use them, but I've got a timed sound effect for you if you would like to use them. In this lesson, in the beginning, we looked over what was anticipation and what was a smear. We've now put them together. We've also just done some easy eases. Hold on, I'll show you our rough again. There we go. We've done a rough. We first did the main key positions, which was where it starts, the very height, and the very bottom. We added in our smear, which is a stretched out image halfway. Wait, are you serious? Guy, there's been so many things that I'm really surprised about. My internal creative force, exactly. Wait, let it go. Oh, am I still... Okay, this is not just me. You're just kind of there like, nah, you know what? Let's move on. And the hand's like, it's like, okay, cool. Cool. We've also done our anticipation where we added in an easy ease. To do that, it was just pretty much the same picture, but halfway. And then we did a picture halfway in between the halfway. Everything's a halfway. So if we press play, we've got a nice gavel going down. Kotta! But now we're working on the outlines, making it look all pretty. If you do want the files, please go ahead and pop over to the YouTube channel. In the description is the downloadable files, or VoodooVar may indeed pop that there again. Now, when you are doing your non-rough, you can totally do it straight ahead by doing each one that comes, or you could go straight for your main positions instead. I'm going to go for the main. And I'm not even going to draw this again. I don't think I have to. Because we're on a digital program, we really don't need to. So let me move this into the right position. There are perks to drawing it again. Plus, if you do draw again and again and again, one, it will make you faster. Definitely a good thing to do in the long run. But for the sake of speed, because if you want to add that egg in, gotta kind of speed up. There we are. Boom. Wait, Uma said this is my relaxation time. Oh, you're lucky the Adobe stream start afterward. Oh, well, we always love seeing Uma in the chat. So Uma, you got any more desserts? You know, I associate you with like desserts now. Okay, so we've got our keyframe there, and we need one more at the very bottom. So let's hit F6 again. We're totally cheating. If you do want to draw this from scratch, you can. I might have to tweak this because this is not adding up. Like, look at that. That doesn't add up like at all. So I am going to tweak this a bit. If you want to tweak it, but not too much, you could make sure you have the transform tool selected, click and drag over to a certain bit. Oops. Move your anchor tool and pull it out. There we go. Tea party! Yes, grab the tea. This is now a cooking show. Just add an egg. The way that I still remember that Parappa the Rapper rap. I am a chicken in the kitchen. Quack, quack, quack. Okay, so we got this. It is a little bit funky. Here we are. Putting it in, although it's a little bit funky because I totally broke it at the thing, and this is why you should probably just draw it from scratch. You can change the size of the brush without having to go to the properties tab by just clicking on your bracket. Okay, there we are. And it's not the right level, so I'm just gonna cut this off, increase my size, cut it off a little bit. I think that's why I like having my brush and my eraser different sizes. I tend to erase big, but I draw small. Can we make that into a t-shirt? That actually sounds like, if I was a rapper, like that would be a line. Like that's definitely a line, isn't it? Okay. Oops. Let me take a quick look. Let me hide the rough. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. Just gonna check between the two. Can we get away with it? We sort of can. We could probably get away with that. Let's take another look. Sometimes with the animation, you might have to look a few times just to make sure it's right. It looks like it's changed size to me. It's probably just because I cut off the front of it. So if we extend the back, we could get away with it, but I think I tried to do something that I could not legitimately do. Bars. All the bars. Oh, really? Guy, you are educating me today. All right. Let me add this one and then we'll go a little bit faster so we can catch up and see it in full effect. Now, thankfully, Adobe Animate will allow you to use the paint tool in areas that are filled in already, which we're sort of going to be doing, but we've got our layered effect going on, so we're fine. Now, because my auto key is on, it stuck a key there, which is not where the key should be. So let me hold Shift and F5 and move this over. There we are. Is that all the food? Thank you for sharing it with the stream because we're hungry. All right, and then it's pretty much rinse and repeat. We can see exactly where things are supposed to happen because we've already done it down below. All we have to do is move them into place. So really the longest time will probably be spent on doing the rough and the cleanup, but we're not really doing any cleanups right now, so we can not have to worry about those at all. So that's our one frame. That one moves really fast. We'll hit F6 again. Move it up. We can totally put our outline on if we like. Oh, don't forget to move your anchor, otherwise you might have some issues when you try to move your things. Good. We've got the next one. We can dash back and forth between the two. Yep, looks like it's working so far. We're doing it via twos. Let's make sure we save every once in a while. I don't think I've seen it auto-save, though it does it all the time. It's very interesting. Okay, move it up once more. So again, really, it's all about planning once you've planned it. Or if you were drawing it, obviously this bit would take a little bit longer. But we're not at the moment. We're not. What is that? Is that like an American snack? There are some foods that you lot have that we do not have in England. My sis went there recently because she was working on a job. She went to Ohio and she brought back some foods. Like she brought back Scooby snacks. I was like, oh, this exists? This would never be over here. Like, we would never have it without her bringing it home. There'd be no way. So it's so cool. Okay, let's take a look. Let's press play. Nice. Let's turn off the rough. The only reason why it's changing color is because we've got the transform on it. It thinks we want to select it. Unfortunately, you will just have to go back and tweak things. Can you also just double click on the point of selection rather than click and dragging? That's a good question. Let's take a look. I've not tried that. If that's possible, that'd be great. All right, let's make a new bar and let's double click, see if it works. Unfortunately not, Uma. Unfortunately not. When we double click, it does not acknowledge it. We do unfortunately have to drag it over. What program allows you to double click? I didn't know we could do that. It's showing me the world here. Okay, this one moves back a little bit. You and your emote crazes. Scooby snacks, yeah! She brought home Scooby snacks. How can you live if there are no dino nuggets? I've never heard of this before. That's why I was like, is this something America? Never have I ever. Never have I ever heard. What? Which one allows you to do that? That's so cool. Okay, this is where the ease happens, by the way, which is us just doing a movement, but it's ever so slight. It's ever so slight. F6 again. Fun fact, there used to be a line of Scooby snacks that were actual dog treats that caused, oh no, nationwide confusion for a number of months. Oh no. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's because we see Shaggy eat them too. So the Scooby snacks we have are human, human edible ones. That's so funny. Cause yeah, they both eat them. Oh my gosh. That's some funny marketing right there. Okay, so we know this one needs to move back a little bit too. We want them. Yeah, exactly. Yes, Val. Like, we're like, excuse me, I want to join in with Scooby and the gang. Allow me to join Scooby and the gang. Oh, right. So these two are slightly different heights. So just gonna go ahead and move it up, go back and forth. They don't quite coincide, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Gonna get rid of it all together. Hit my F5 a couple of times to erase this one. There we go. And I'm just going to make another one from it. It's totally okay if you have to slightly tweak what you've done before. Can't be too precious because if you are, it might slow down your working. Okay. Let's take another look at this. Ooh, spicy. Okay. So we got the hammer. Kaboom! It smacks down. If you want, like in my example, you can totally have it shake at the bottom, but we're on a timer. Yes, Val. It's not just for the dogs. It has to be for us too. Okay, we've got our effect. It goes with the sound. How about the painting? I kind of want to do like a Kirby hammer, but I don't really remember what it looks like off by heart. So I'm going to grab... Oh, apparently it remembers a color. I'm going to go to the inner line and we are going to be doing the same thing again. So let's make a new frame. Make sure that the visibility is set to on. Otherwise it'll be like, I don't know. Yes, cats tend to do that. There 1 minute. Walk away but appear the next because they want something from you. Now, when you're painting, you don't have to be too precious. She says that she's carefully going around it. What you can do is do the majority of the shape, and then you can use your paint bucket to just fill it in. Very handy. Very, very handy. There we go. Going around. And I'm just going to repaint for all of them. I think it'll be more hassle for me to attempt to just drag the same image. It just does not work like that. Might find it later if there's some way, but not an intuitive way. Hi, corn dog. There we go. So we've made a gap. Got to make sure that there's no gaps in it. Oh, Uma said in Illustrator, when you're using the rotate or reflect tool, first time, just click. Want to move the anchor point? Double click on your... Ooh. You know what? If at some point... Oh, by the way, to grab your paint bucket, it's K, or over here on your toolbar. So I'm just going to go through while I read as we move quickly. And we do it again. And we do it again. I might make my brush bigger, you know. There we go. Doesn't need to be that careful. We can totally fix any bits that dip on the outside. Great. I'm just going to do the awkward shoulder head tilt thing to try to help me keep it within the line. There we are. But like if those kind of really cool things ended up coming over to like some of the other programs, that'd be really cool. Now I think I'm drawing on top of the outline, so let's make sure that it's closed first. I did draw on top of it, so I'm going to use my Q button, click on the top, steal the color, delete it, take that too, go to the bottom one and fill it in. If you do Control Shift and V, it will go where it's supposed to go. Now we only have a few more minutes left, so I'll see if I can complete this in time. But I think you get the gist here. You're going in, you want to fill the color on separate layers as you go. Make sure that the color is on a new frame each time. Otherwise, it might be kind of tricky to try to fill it back in. I was really concerned that I was on the wrong one by then. Great. The coloring is quite deceiving and can also take a crazy long time. So when you are animating something, don't forget to give yourself time to color things in. Tilting health. Thank you, Katrina. You understand. I love how like all creatives, we all have this like something that seems like semi-awkward, but it's like, you know what? Even though your neck's kind of like, oh, why would you do this to me? At the very end, we all get it though. Vegetable straw. Is this another thing that I don't know about? That's not filling in. There must be a gap somewhere that I haven't seen. I'm gonna do it semi-sloppily. I don't mind the sloppiness at the moment. See if we can get it done, eh? Draw it down. Next one along. F7. The bigger brush really does help. I'm not sure if there's a way like in Photoshop to exclude, you know, like when you use your magic wand tool and then you can click on the outside and be like, cool, everything that's outside here, I don't want to see these, but I only want to see these. Okay, and another one. We've got two more. We've got like 2 minutes. Can we do it and do our conclusion? We'll find out. Find out next time. Please, not next time. We need to do it this time. There we go. Nice. Oops. Another. I feel like we need the Mission Impossible music. Oh wait, she can't sing it. I was about to do it. I was about to do it. No DMCA for us. F7. I feel like... Ah, there we go. Ah, we didn't draw in the smear. Oh, we forgot to draw in the smear, you know. I totally did. Okay, that would mean that we turn back on this one. We would draw the smear. I'm going to show you at least drawing the smear. Put this round to the size that it sort of should be. I'm just going to click and drag this over, do an F7. Make sure my tool is on. And you'd make sure your artwork is halfway in between the two. Obviously, the prettier, the better. Great. Then when it happens, it'll be really nice, really flush, really fast. We'll see what we've got for now. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. Do you think we can do it? I don't know. I might have to rush the ending. Okay, we got this. Boom. One more. This. Pop. And a little bit there. All right. All the mess on the sides. Hooray. Cool. So, what we have now, a little bit sloppy. But we've got our gavel. We've got the anticipation. And we've got the smear. Whew, and we did it on time. Huzzah. It's only blinking because of that one frame on the outside. Now, you've got a little bit of a few things to be getting on with. Because we got to hustle. Outro, which I thought I colored in, but I didn't. Your homework is to complete the mini game. See if you can use a smear and an anticipation in an animation of your own. Doesn't need to be long. Whatever you can do is great. But most importantly, whatever you do, have fun. Thank you so much for sticking around. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye.